Step 5 may be our favorite step of all. And that's where you're no longer mad at yourself when you're back in step 1. Because step 1 is essential to continual motion forward. If you don't continue to sort and sift, and if you don't continue to find new things that you're asking for, you cannot continue to be. And that is why you decided to be born into this environment of immense and what we call perfect contrast, so that you could mix it up and come to your own conclusions. And so all day, every day, there will be things for you to acknowledge and to grow from. You just want to keep the balance in place. You don't want to be so much in step 1 that you're ornery. You want to be enough in step 1 that you're moving forward, but don't freak out when something comes to you that makes you ask in a stronger way for something that you want, because what came to you is clearly something that you don't want. There is value in every bit of contrast, always. Contrast is your best friend, because contrast sets the whole thing in motion. And without contrast, there would be nothing. Now, don't worry about that. That's not ever going to happen. You know that because of the people you live with. Always going to be contrast. But to be a deliberate creator, what you really want to do is to come to the place where you are the creator of your own experience. You are whether you know it or not, rather than the reactor. You want to be the one who decides and goes with that flow, rather than one who reacts to what's going on. Because when you're reacting to something else, you haven't set the tone and the direction of what you are wanting. Now, we know that there are lovely things for you to focus upon. And when you focus upon lovely things and you react, you practice the momentum. So step 3 gets stronger. That's a really good thing. But you want to pay attention to what you're doing. And the only way that you can really pay attention to what you're doing is by using your guidance system that you were born with, your emotional guidance system that lets you know how you're doing. And here's why. Your guidance system lets you know how you're doing because your inner being, that source energy part of you who existed before you came into this physical body and who still exists even now that you are in this physical body and who is standing in your vortex, focused powerfully on everything that you have amended your intentions to be through the life experience that you've been living. That inner being part of you holds a powerful, hear this, a powerful and important perspective to which law of attraction is responding. So the things that you've asked for and the absolute new you who exists in this vortex, law of attraction is responding to, which means you have a visceral, easy to feel relationship with who you've become. So you're standing over here complaining about not having enough money when you have put so much money in your vortex, the vibrational version of it, that you could never find enough things to spend it on. But if you're standing in a moment of lack and doubt, then you are not in vibrational concert with who you really are and what you've really amassed. And so you feel afraid. And that fearful emotion is your indicator that what's really going on is far different than what you think is going on. And your focus, which is in opposition to what's real, we like you knowing that, because the vortex is real. That's why we wrote a book about it. Don't you think that makes it real? It's in print. That makes it real. This vortex is real. It's the whole of who you are. So when you are on the path where you are allowing the reality of your vortex to become the reality of your physical time and space, where you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it, that's what you came for. You came for that. You came to be the deliberate creator of your experience, which means you came to turn these vibrations to thoughts and these thoughts to things. That's what you came for. Out here on this leading edge, sometimes as spiritual beings, you get confused and you think, well, there is spirituality and there is materialism, and I should choose to be spiritual, not material. And we say, When you are here in this physical body, you are material. You are spirit in physical form. And when you allow yourself to create as you have intended to, the feeling of exhilaration, the feeling of empowerment is indescribable, isn't it? So we are eager to talk with you about what matters to you. It is our desire that you leave this gathering more sure of who you are and more often in the vibrational vicinity of your vortex. For a while we were saying, get into the vortex, get into the vortex. Think the thoughts that your inner being thinks in the vortex and become one with your vortex. Because when you are one with what you have asked for, then what you've asked for becomes your reality. These days, we are describing it slightly different. It's a little easier for you to hear. If your vortex exists, and it does, doesn't it? If your vortex exists, and it does, doesn't it? Yes. If your vortex is a reality, and it is, isn't it? Yes. If your vortex is a reality, and it's bubbling, it's becoming, it's gestating, it's getting ready for you to be ready for it. It's getting ready for you to be ready for it. And the only reason that anyone might doubt the existence of it is because you're not ready for it, because you're over here complaining about what isn't. Because when you want something that hasn't come about yet, and you can't see it, then you feel foolish claiming that it is. But you must accept that it is in a vibrational version, and then something has to happen. It has to evolve from its vibrational version into its manifested version in order for you to fully enjoy it. That's why you're here in this physical body. So there is a process. There is a vibrational process. There is an alignment process that is yours to do. It's what step 3 is. There's a vibrational process that is yours to do that allows you to see and hear and smell and taste and touch. It allows you to be the realizer of what's in your vortex. And that's how those thoughts turn to things. So here's your vortex at this very high vibrational frequency, which means there's no resistance in it. And for whatever reason, you're feeling particularly frisky today. You're tuned in, you're tapped in, you're turned on, you're feeling high on life. You're in love with life. You're feeling good about who you are. You're feeling good about who others are. You're just feeling good. You don't even need an excuse to feel good. You just feel good. But sometimes going outside in this magnificent California makes you feel good. It makes you glad to be alive. We don't care what excuse you use to feel good. Just find one and feel good. So there you are, tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And in that state of happy, an idea occurs to you. That's vibration turning to thought. Ooh, that's the process of creation underway. Oh, it's been well underway. It's gathered so much energy. It's gathered so many cooperative components. It is huge and it's ready to pop for you. But the popping process is what you came for. The popping process feels so good. When it starts popping and you start getting those ideas and you say, hey, I know what I want. This is what I want. Once it occurs to you in that powerful way, these vibrations have begun to turn to thoughts, and that means it is a sure thing. Once the idea has occurred to you in the form of something that you would call my desire, I want this, it is so well along the way that you can call it done. Now you have only to hold yourself as best you can in the vicinity of that feeling, and it will materialize right before your eyes. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time. Good timing is now going to be your experience. You're going to rendezvous with others, and all kinds of good fortune will begin to occur to you right before your eyes. And the best part of this is you will know that it is happening because you understand the process. You remember when you were sifting and sorting. You remember step 1. You accept step 2. You've been practicing step 3, and now you are good at step 3. You're now in step 4, and now ideas are occurring to you, and you know that the ideas are occurring to you, and you stand in a place of expectation, and then they start popping, one after the other. This thing happens, and this thing happens, and this thing happens, and this thing happens, until you begin to believe in your ability that you create you and you alone create your own reality. Nobody else is doing it. Nobody but you. It's you and what you are holding yourself in vibrational alignment with. That sweet spot of unfolding. Once you're there, and you know you're there, and you can feel the power of your desire. And now there's no doubt, because it's a sure thing. There's no wonder or worry about it. It's a sure thing. Now you just get to experience the pleasure of watching the cooperative universe back you up. Now you get to feel the worthiness of your being. Now you get to understand how Source feels about you. Now you get to understand how understood you are. Now you get to receive the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it version. Now you get to realize it fully, because you created it and it gestated. And momentum came to it. And now it's so big that it is expressing itself to you in so many ways. And you're feeling so good these days that as it is expressing itself, you're there to see it. And as you see it, you feel it. And life just gets better and better and better and better and better and better and better for you. And those who are watching you, those who are around you, who are watching you, you know, those jealous ones, they're saying, what is up with you? What's going on with you? What's going on with you? Why are things working out so well for you? And you say, they just are. Don't try to explain it. They just are. It's just how it works. The happier I am, the better things go. Tell them that and leave it there. So we're eager to talk with you about whatever you want to talk about. Some things. You're going to like this day a lot.